Hello YouTube, hope we're doing well. Today's video we're going to be talking about the essential parts that you need to be able to reach your fat loss goal, your muscle gain goal, your body composition goal, your health goal. It's going to be a good video. Now, I'm not going to go into lots of sciencey based things in this video. I do that a lot during my coaching, and although I do love that style of having science-backed information, sometimes, and stripping it all back, we have to start with one thing, one fundamental thing, which will change all of this, regardless of whether you know the science or you don't. It doesn't matter what goal you're looking to achieve. The fundamental aspects are you need to have multiple things prepared, and we're going to go through those things in this video. And you also need to have a bit of anticipation. When I talk about anticipation, I mean it in the sense of you know that something is going to happen and you're prepared for that thing. But the knowing and the believing is a huge element to this. So the beginning starts with self-belief. And I know you might be thinking, oh, this sounds a bit woo-woo, I was expecting something better than that. But what's better than actually believing that you can achieve something? I started every single diet, every single preparation for a modelling shoot, a competition, a weight training competition, whatever it was, starting with the belief that I can actually achieve that said goal. And if you don't start with that belief of achieving that said goal, you are fighting against your own brain. And I've seen this so many times with clients that they come to me and they're like, okay, I'm ready for change, and I tell them everything that they need to change, but then certain things happen and then they start getting these little confirmations of things that say, hey, you can't achieve this goal, hey, you slipped up on your diet, hey, you're tired, don't go training today. One of the worst things you can do, dwelling on those mistakes that you've made, okay? And the reason for this is your body works off confirmations, right? Your brain will confirm your narrative. And if your narrative is, oh, I can't stick to my diet, I don't like training, I don't like doing these things, you're fighting an uphill battle. How do you change your narrative? This is a deep question to ask, but I have found some ways in order to do this. I don't know what I was thinking wearing a t-shirt. It is Australian winter right now, but it's 27 degrees. Not cold. A vest it shall be. That's much better. Now, when we're talking about changing your narrative, I'm not necessarily talking about looking in the mirror every morning and shouting things at yourself. You know, I am living in abundance. I am strong, I can diet. You know, these things, although there is some credit to them, I tend to feel a little bit stupid doing those things. It's kind of a bit counterproductive. Now, I do actually do a mantra every morning, which is a little bit similar to the whole screaming in the mirror thing, because it works off the same sort of mechanism. I got in shape, I competed, I built a business, I travelled on my own before ever doing a mantra. So, without using a mantra, without screaming at myself in the mirror, how did I manage to still stick to the goals in which I set myself? Well, there's a few things. There are certain things which help people to get motivated. Some people are motivated by knowing that the thing that they're going to work towards is better than the position that they're in now. Other people have motivation through pain. It's not just the shiny object which is attracting them to achieve the goal. They're not caring too much about the actual Rolex, the Lamborghini, the whatever. But they're more so concerned with the pain of what was potentially waiting for them. Maybe it was the pain of insecurity. Maybe it was the pain of knowing that you're going to be wasting potential. This was one thing which motivated me hugely, was wasted potential. And I would say is probably the only thing I fear in this world. You have the ability to set a goal and achieve it. And once you set a goal, if you don't achieve it, you are already starting that process of confirmation that you are not going to achieve your goals. And that is a terrible thing to happen. If you fail to achieve a goal, the worst thing you can do is go, okay, I failed, let's try something else. I would definitely encourage you to try different approaches, but do not give up on that goal. Because the moment you give up on that goal, you give yourself confirmation, I cannot achieve this goal. I cannot achieve a goal in which I set for myself. That is not what you want to be confirming to yourself. So, if you don't want to confirm the negatives and you want to instead confirm the positives, what can you do? Confirming the positives would be stepping on the scales and seeing a weight reading drop. There you go. Cool. The process is working. I'm going to keep doing what I'm currently doing. If you start seeing strength progress in the gym, for example, the process is working, I'm going to keep sticking to what I'm doing. The opposite to that would be, oh, the scales are not moving. What I'm doing is no longer working. It's so difficult to say that because there's so many things that impact your scale weight reading that doing that instantly off the bat is only going to hold you back from making more progress. And the same rule would apply for business. If you're looking to grow your business, you would look at the things which are helping you physically grow. Tangible things that you can grow. Okay, my income has increased, my client base has increased by this much. If you do something which doesn't result in progress, are you going to focus on that one thing? You could maybe change it, but focusing on it doesn't really serve anybody. Okay, so to recap, we focus on the positives, we change the negatives, we measure the progress, and take confirmation from that progress, and we believe the narrative. Narrative is very important. If you think you're a failure, you're going to fail. If you think you are going to be successful, you're more likely to be successful than the person that thinks they're going to fail. Now, all of that sounds incredibly simple, and it is, and that's the beauty of this. A lot of what we do isn't necessarily that complicated, but instead of thinking about things logically, we start thinking about things emotionally. And in order to get away from the focusing on the negative, what I do, and what I would encourage you to do, is to write out a list of the things in which you have done, you've achieved, things that you like about yourself, positive things that in those moments when you start to doubt the process or you doubt your ability, you read through this list of things. And it could be simple stuff, completed school. There's a lot of people that don't complete school. You started a business. A lot of people that have no ability or bravery to start a business. I have been in your job for X amount of years. You have had a promotion. Whatever it is, those wins that you have, focus on those, because what you focus on in your life grows. You with me so far? Now, it wouldn't be fair for me to not mention the mantra and why I do this. And the simple point of this is, when you buy a car, before you buy that car, you probably haven't noticed it on the road many times. But as soon as you buy that car, you start seeing that same car everywhere. It feels like everybody has that car. If you are looking for things to confirm your narrative, and the narrative is a positive one because of your mantra, or the narrative is a negative one because of the things that people have told you over your years, because of your childhood traumas, because of other people's opinions, that narrative is going to continue confirming those negative things. I used to always tell myself that I was an idiot, that I wasn't intelligent because I'm dyslexic and I struggle with certain things around literature. However, I'm also really good at being creative. I can draw. I can be creative, I can see music in different ways. There's lots of things which I have, which other people don't have. So instead of focusing on those things, and don't get me wrong, obviously there are things in which I want to continue to improve with my ability to read fast, etc. But I am focusing on what I can do with that, not focusing on I'm an idiot. Now, you'd be completely justified to say all of this information is very overwhelming and I have no idea how to actually apply this and use this information in my life. So the first thing I would suggest doing is to start by questioning your own beliefs on yourself. Do you look at yourself as a failure already? If this is the case, then that is the first thing you need to start with. You need to start addressing that. And one of the best ways to do that is to write out a list of your successes, the things you like about yourself and your wins. Once you have done that, the next thing I would suggest doing is writing out a bit of a mantra. What things that you want to achieve that you are working towards, and read those through every single day. The next practices are things that you're going to do along the journey. So celebrating your wins, things that are going well and go in the direction that you want, write those down. And if they align with things that you've already written out as a goal or things that you put in your mantra, that is a big golden tick in the right direction. And then once you start stacking these wins and these small things that you've achieved along the way, then start thinking about the big picture. What else you can start aiming for? What is it out there that you really want to achieve? The stuff, the goals that kind of scare you a little bit. Get those little bits of butterflies going. Those goals are the ones which are really going to make you grow. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it and you found it helpful, maybe share it to somebody else, and always drop a comment and a like if you can as well, please. Thank you very much. I'll speak to you in the next one.